Hey, beautiful light beams. I'm looking a little bit different today than you'd usually see me. This is what I teach my Kundalini classes in. This little turban and of course my whites. So a lot of you probably haven't practiced Kundalini yoga before. So I just want to give a little bit of a background into it. Some important things to know whenever you're practicing. And I'm really excited for you to start to attune to some of these mantras and see how they make your body feel and see what starts to ripple out into your life just from these mantras. So Kundalini yoga, a little brief overview of it. We call it yoga of awareness. So a bit of a background, Yogi Bhajan, who all of you know now from our 5 sutras of the Aquarian age, he is the master of Kundalini yoga. So he is the one responsible for bringing it over to the West so that all of us could experience it. So Kundalini yoga used to only be practiced in royalty. It was a royal practice form ritual because it had so much power. Okay, so it was practice something in royalty that's very hush hush, and you couldn't know about it unless you were in that, right? So you think about kings and queens and royalty back in the day, how radiant they were, right? A lot of that had to do with Kundalini practices and this energetic practices. So Yogi Bhajan mastered Kundalini yoga when he was 16 years old, and he had this inner calling of well, how is everyone else going to practice this? Like he started having these visions of the times we'd be in now, what we know as the Aquarian age, where technology would be speeding up, people would need these tools and they would need support because anxiety would be so high, depression, suicide. It would be such a fast-paced world with so much technology advances and stuff like that. So he knew, if I don't bring it to the rest of the world, who's going to do it? So he broke away from that, and that was a big thing because he could have got killed or anything like that because it was so hush-hush and so secret for so long. So when he brought it over to the West in America, and I remember hearing this story where, because no one heard of this yoga, right? And this is in the early 70s. I think this is in 1969 or the early 70s when he brought it over. So not that long ago, you guys. We haven't had access to this powerful technology for very long. So he brought it over to America, and because no one knew about it, and he was like this Indian dude, like wearing a turban in his whites, and everyone's like, what? He would go to the festivals. He would go to Woodstock Festival and say, I'm going to teach you hippies how to get high on your breath, because of course drugs, weed, all that was really high. You know, it was really high. It was a lot in those days. So he was like, I want to teach you how to get high on your breath. So he'd sit there at these festivals teaching hundreds of people that had no idea what this yoga was, how to get high on their breath, right? How to activate this prana and their life force energy, their Kundalini energy. And yeah, just it's so cool thinking about that. That's how he got in. And I always loved just how humble he was in the terms of, he'd just show up and he'd teach 1 person and 2 people and 5 people and 10 people, and he would just make it his mission. And one of his missions, you might have heard this quote before, was, I'm not here to create disciples. I don't want followers. I'm here to activate teachers. I'm here to create teachers, because who else is going to get this power out into the world? So that was one of his main missions. I'm not here to create followers. I'm here to create teachers. And every time I hear that, I get a little jolt, and I'm just like, yes, activating leaders, right? So that's kind of a bit of a background on Kundalini yoga. On the physical level, it is helping helping purify our blood when we're chanting, when we're doing these breath work and things like that. It's purifying our blood. It's balancing our hormones. It's activating, of course, our creative energy, our sexual energy, our personal power. It's opening our hearts. It's balancing and activating all of our glands, our glandular system. It's rebalancing our nervous system. It's doing all of these epic things on the physical level. Energetically, it's expanding our aura and our radiance and our projection out into the world. When we use the mantras, I like to think about mantras as like light codes. So it's activating these parts and unlocking these parts of our consciousness. And the coolest thing about these mantras is, even if you don't know the translation and you're chanting it, you're still activating these parts of your brain, right? It's actually the energy behind the mantras that you're receiving, not just the actual words. Okay, so if you're like, I don't really get what I'm chanting, but I feel really called to this mantra, or this mantra moves something in my body, or I feel different when I chant this, like trust that you're receiving the energetic transmission of the mantra, okay? So you're going to learn a few mantras over the next few months, and some you'll be very resistant to, some you'll straight away be really called to, some you'll have a visceral experience maybe on the first go, maybe it'll take months, but every time just really try and feel the mantra, like let the mantra kind of wash over your consciousness rather than being in your head. Like try and, you know, I always say chant from your navel, so chant from your body, don't chant from here. Chant from low in your womb, in your power center, in your solar plexus. Chant from there, okay? Feel the mantras when you chant them. So that being said, one thing you might have noticed if you've ever been to a Kundalini class is we always start our practice with what we call a tune in, okay? So, you know, in other yogas, we chant Om, okay? In Kundalini Yoga, our tuning in mantra or our primal mantra is Ong, so O-N-G, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, and we chant that 3 times. And we do that because the first chant is like we're bowing down to this divine teacher within us. Chant 2, we bow down to the divine teacher within all. And chant 3 is connecting us to what we call the golden chain of teachers. So we connect to the teacher who's taught you. So you connect with me when I chant this, then you connect with my teacher and their teacher all the way back to Yogi Bhajan. So it's like this golden chain that we plug into that helps to elevate us, expand us, keep us safe, keep us protected, anything like that. So I always chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo whenever I'm teaching anything, okay? It not only starts to open our crown chakra, it starts to reorganize the energy within us. It helps us get out of our head, get out of our ego. And it's like we open this channel where we can start directing and teaching from our heart, right? Because we can't be in our head. So it's like we connect into this wider lineage of teachers that have gone before us. And whenever we feel scared or afraid, we can plug into that and know, like, I can feel all these people standing behind me. The same way with you light workers right now. Like every time you go to teach anything or speak about something or write about something, you can tune into this, all of us, this little lineage of light beings in here, right? And feel that support behind you, and you know that you're never alone and you don't need to be afraid. So I'm going to do the tune in 3 times now, so you can start to feel it and get into the practice of doing it. So any of these meditations that I teach you, please do your tune in before you do the meditations. Just get into the habit of doing the 3 Om Namos Gurudev Namo. And if you don't want to chant, if that feels very uncomfortable for you, which I highly recommend that you do chant because it's going to start to activate parts of you. If you feel very uncomfortable or you need to be quiet, you can just say it in your mind, okay? Or you can just say it Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, rather than chant it. But I highly encourage you chant it, okay? So before any practice, we just rub our palms together, start to get some warmth in our hands. You want to be sitting cross-legged, so you're in easy pose. If you've got a little cushion, prop your hips up with a cushion. Hands pressed together at the heart here. So always just drop your shoulders away from your ears and kind of lift your chest forward a little bit, pressing the palms together. Now, if you want to close your eyes down and receive this and actually practice this with me, that would be awesome. So we close our eyes down, we focus center of the brows, so always rolling the eyes up to the third eye. Take a nice clearing breath. So we take an inhale. Exhale all the breath out. And we inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Take a deep inhale. Pause the breath. You can set an intention here before your practice. So just let that mantra kind of marinate. And exhale, relax the hands down. And just be still here for a moment. Just notice what your tune in What starts to happen in your mind? What starts to happen in your heart, in your body? Just from that tune in, just from the vibration of that primal mantra. Awesome. So get into the habit of that, you guys. 3 times Om Namo Gurudev Namo before any of these meditations that I teach you, okay? So meditation, the first one we're going to go through is called the Adi Shakti meditation, okay? Adi Shakti translates to this primal feminine force within all of us. So this is such a beautiful mantra to have just playing at your house. If you're not actively sitting down in meditation with it, get this mantra into your consciousness. So it's going to activate this beautiful creative energy, this goddess energy in you, get you back into your heart. It's very womb energy as well. Chanting this can help with fertility. This can help when you're going through crazy things with your cycle. This is just tapping you into that divine mother energy, okay, in whatever way that's going to feel for you. So even after this meditation, you might feel really calm, you might feel really joyful, you might feel irritated, you might feel sad and want to cry, you might feel different, and you might feel nothing, and it's completely okay. Just keep letting the mantra and trust that the mantra is doing the job that it needs to when it needs to, okay? So as you're going to be chanting along to the music that I'm going to link here, you, like I said, get into the habit of actually feeling the mantra rather than just chanting it and focusing on the words, okay? Of course, focus on the words a little bit, but see if you can just let your body and your energy actually just take over and start to get into, you might even start to notice after a few times that your voice might change a little bit, okay? Just see if you can just be in that beautiful tap, okay? And let this divine mother, this Adi Shakti energy and mantra really just take over you, and just see what happens with that. So we sit in a cross-leg position here. Hands are going to be in front of the heart. So we want the left hand on top, right hand underneath, palms are facing down, and always just try and soften your shoulders. They're going to creep up a little bit, but if you just keep remembering to soften your shoulders here. And we want kind of strong hands. So fingers together, not all fluffy like that. Fingers together, so strong hands, strong shoulders. And just with your chin, we're just tucking it in a little as if you're going to have an orange in between your chest and your chin. So just bring the chin down a little bit, a little neck lock there. And again, eyes to the third eye, so center of the brows. Now, all we're doing is holding this here, and you're going to be chanting this Adi Shakti mantra. So I'm going to link the music here so that you can do it. It will take you a couple minutes to settle in. We're aiming to chant for 11 minutes. You're going to pick up the words a couple times after you go, so don't stress about them. Maybe the first one you just sit and you just receive the mantra and you don't even chant. You just receive, okay? And notice the energy of that. When you get confident with the words, just start to chant along as you pick them up. And it doesn't even matter if you're not pronouncing them exactly perfect. It's more about your intention behind it, your intention of receiving and chanting the mantra. So hands up, you'll be sitting here. We're aiming for 11 minutes. If you want to just start with 3 minutes, that's perfect. Your shoulders and your arms probably going to get a little bit achy, but just come back to focusing on the mantra and your breath and your words. Chanting here for 11 minutes. When the mantra finishes on the music, you just take a nice deep inhale and hold your breath for a few moments, but keep your shoulders soft, keep your heart open. Let the energy of the mantra marinate. And then when you're ready, you exhale, keep the eyes closed and just relax the hands down. You can sit a little bit longer. You might even feel called to journal. Like I said, emotions might come up, whatever comes up is perfect. But see how you go with 11 minutes. If you can, please try the 11 minutes. If your hands get a little bit tired, just rest them down on your knees. That's fine, and keep chanting, okay? So let me know how you go with this one. Listen to this mantra as much as you can. Let's get it into your awareness. Let's get it into your consciousness. Let's listen to it when you're driving in the car. Listen to it when you're creating. Listen to it when you're trying to activate some goddess energy within you. Listen to it when you're feeling a bit heavy in your heart, when you feel you're disconnected from your feminine, anything. Plug into this one. And yeah, I think it's really beautiful, and it's really going to serve you. So let me know how you go.